Are you tired of starting over? Are you sick of the promises you make to yourself only to break them by Tuesday? You've got big dreams, massive goals, but you hit that wall, right? That wall of resistance, that old conditioning, that voice that whispers, you can't do this. Listen to me, the problem is not your potential, it's your procedure. We're not here to talk about trying for 3 weeks. We are here to talk about a fundamental total shift. I'm going to show you how to cut through the noise, burn the boats, and stop debating with yourself. You don't need years to change your life. You need 21 days of committed action, all powered by one defining decision made in this moment. It's time to stop wishing and start doing. I want to start by asking you to forget everything you think you know about transformation. Forget the long, arduous journeys, the endless checklists, and the exhausting attempts to change your entire life overnight. That model is designed for failure because it's overwhelming. It drains your spiritual and mental battery before you even take the first step. True lasting change, the kind that ripples through your finances, your relationships, your health, and your happiness, doesn't start with 21 days of effort. It starts with one committed, irreversible decision made right here, right now. That is the entire premise of this talk, and it's the heart of key point 1, the power of the single decision. Think about it this way. What is the most important moment when you decide to take a huge trip across the world? Is it the moment you finally arrive at your destination 3 weeks later? No. Is it the moment you pack your bags? No. The entire journey, the entire adventure is locked in the moment you pull the trigger and buy the ticket. That single transaction, that single decision makes the whole trip real. It commits you financially, mentally, and practically. Everything that follows, getting the visa, packing the clothes, learning a few phrases, those are just the mechanical movements following the decision. Your 21-day transformation is exactly the same. We are not here to talk about trying to change for 21 days. We are here to talk about making a decision so solid, so complete, that the next 21 days of action are merely the execution of an already settled matter. The vast majority of people live in a state of I'll try. They say, I'll try to wake up early tomorrow, or I'll try to stick to my budget this week. What does trying really mean? It means you've already given yourself an escape hatch. It means the moment the alarm goes off and your body says no, or the moment the cookie is staring you down and your mind says eyes, you have a convenient, guilt-free way out. You can shrug and say, well, I tried, but the moment you make a true decision, you burn the boats, you eliminate the other options. The word decision at its root comes from the Latin decider, which means to cut off. When you truly decide, you cut off the possibility of anything else. You cut off the excuses. You cut off the procrastination. So what is the nature of this single decision? It's not complex, but it's profound. It is the decision to fully commit to one chosen change for 21 consecutive days, making that change non-negotiable. You have to anchor it in clarity. Don't decide to be healthier. That's vague. You decide to drink a full glass of water immediately upon waking up or walk for 20 minutes after dinner for 21 days. The decision is the commitment to that specific measurable action. It's the moment you look yourself in the mirror and say, for the next 3 weeks, I am going to do this no matter what. Not when I feel like it, not when it's convenient, not unless there's a major emergency, but no matter what. This decision is an energy shift. You move from a state of internal conflict where one part of you wants to change and another part resists, to a state of powerful alignment. All your mental and emotional energy, which was previously wasted in the debate, is now freed up and channeled toward the action itself. The moment you make the decision, the transformation has already begun because you've changed the source code of your own commitment. Most people wait for motivation to strike. They wait to feel like making the change, but the emotion follows the action. The motivation follows the decision. When you commit, you eliminate the need for daily willpower battles because the big battle has already been won. The smaller actions are now simply following the directive of the general, which is your decided will. This single decision is the most important step you will ever take. It is the catalyst that transforms mere wishing into actual becoming. It's the difference between standing at the edge of the pool, dipping your toe in and shivering, versus taking a deep breath and jumping in. Once you jump, you're in. The decision is made and the momentum of the water takes over. Your life is waiting for you to jump. It is waiting for this singular, powerful, life-altering decision. The question is simple, yet revolutionary. Are you ready to cut off the alternative? Now that we've locked in the power of that single, irreversible decision, the decision to commit to one vital change for the next 21 days, we need to talk about why that number 21 is so critically important. It's not an arbitrary number. It's not just a nice round figure plucked out of thin air. It represents a psychological sweet spot, a precise window of time where sustained effort yields the most powerful, lasting results. This brings us to key point 2, understanding the 21-day principle. For years, people talked about 21 days as if it were some magical formula, and in a way it is. But the concept found its initial traction decades ago, stemming from the observations of a renowned plastic surgeon. He noticed something fascinating about his patients. Whether they were recovering from an amputation and dealing with the phantom limb phenomenon, or adapting to a significant cosmetic change like a nose job, it took them approximately 21 days to mentally and emotionally adjust to their new reality. It took about 3 weeks for the temporary, unsettling change to feel like the new normal self. What was happening in those 3 weeks? Their brains were literally starting to rewire. They were building new neural pathways, paving over the old, familiar roads of their previous self-image. It took 21 days for the new perception to solidify, become the default setting. This isn't just about physical recovery. This is about mental installation. You see, the human brain is designed for efficiency, and it loves patterns. Your current habits, good, bad, or indifferent, are nothing more than deep grooves carved into your neural landscape. They are shortcuts that your brain takes to save energy. When you try to introduce a new behavior, your brain resists fiercely. It's saying, wait, this is slower. This requires conscious effort. Let's just go back to the old, comfortable way. That initial resistance is why 90% of people quit after only a few days. They mistake resistance for failure. The 21-day principle gives you the roadmap to navigate that resistance. The first week is the resistance phase. Everything in you fights the change. The new habit feels foreign, unnatural, and exhausting. If you commit to the single decision and push through, you begin to erode those old, comfortable grooves. The second week, days 8 through 14, shifts into the installation phase. You're not fighting as hard, but you're still working. The new habit doesn't feel natural, but it starts to feel mechanical. You stop having to remind yourself constantly. The habit starts to pull you along rather than you having to constantly drag it. This is where most of the consistency is built. You're cementing the structure. And then we hit the final week. Days 15 through 21, the integration phase. This is where the magic happens. The new behavior starts to feel like you. It begins to require less conscious thought. The mental friction decreases dramatically. You don't have to battle yourself to do the thing. You feel slightly off kilter if you don't do it. It started to transition from an effort to a part of your daily rhythm. The greatest misconception about this time frame is the idea of perfection. People assume that to succeed, they must execute the new habit flawlessly for 21 straight days. That is setting an impossible standard. The goal of the 21-day principle is not perfection. It is consistency. It's about showing up every single day and delivering the basic commitment, even if it's messy, even if you only do half of what you plan, even if it feels like a failure, you show up, you deliver, and you keep the chain intact. Because the value of the 21 days is the unbroken consistency that tells your subconscious mind, this is not a phase. This is permanent. We do this now. This time frame is the crucible where the casual wish dies and the committed identity is forged. It is the time needed to lay the foundation so deep and so solid that when life inevitably throws a challenge at you, your new behavior is strong enough to stand up to the pressure. 21 days is just enough time to prove to your own system that the change is real and the decision you made on day 1 is now officially installed. So you've made the commitment, the single decision, and you understand the critical 3-week timeline required for mental installation. You're ready to move. But here's where most people derail their entire transformation. They try to change everything at once. They want to start waking up early, eating clean, exercising daily, journaling, reading a book, learning a language, and calling their mother all on the same day. What happens? They spread their focus so thin that they accomplish nothing, and by day 3, they're defeated. That approach is a recipe for overwhelm. We need a strategic way to deploy the limited willpower and energy you have following that initial decision. We need to zero in on what truly drives fundamental change. This brings us to key point 3, the Keystone Habit strategy. If you were trying to build a beautiful, strong archway, where would you focus your attention? On every stone equally? No. You would focus on the keystone, that single central stone placed at the apex. It's the stone that locks all the others into place. Remove it and the entire structure collapses. Insert it correctly and the entire structure becomes solid, relying on the central tension and support it provides. In your life, a keystone habit is that single central stone. It's one small positive change that, when consistently executed, automatically leads to a cascade of other positive changes across different areas of your life. It's the single most high leverage action you can take. Why does this work? Because it recognizes that your habits are interconnected. They don't exist in silos. For example, let's say your keystone habit is simply to plan your next day the night before. That takes 5 to 10 minutes. It's small. But look at the ripple effect, reduced decision fatigue. You wake up knowing exactly what to tackle, saving mental energy. Better sleep by writing down your tasks. Your brain can relax instead of worrying about forgetting things. Improved nutrition. If your plan includes what you'll eat, you're less likely to grab fast food. Increased productivity. You tackle the most important task first, which fuels your sense of accomplishment for the day. You only decided to plan your day, but you inadvertently improved your sleep, your diet, and your productivity. That is the power of a keystone habit. Another example. Starting your day with just 10 minutes of movement or exercise. 10 minutes, that's all. But that one habit changes your biochemistry, it boosts your energy, it reduces stress hormones, and it floods your system with feel-good chemicals. Once you've made that physical investment, are you more likely to celebrate with a donut or with a healthy breakfast? You've already made a commitment to yourself, and your brain wants to remain congruent. The exercise acts as the keystone, locking in better eating habits, better focus, and better energy for the rest of the day. The key to implementing this for your 21-day transformation is selection. You must ruthlessly identify the one habit that, if you nail it consistently for 3 weeks, will give you the biggest domino effect. Ask yourself this clarifying question: what is the one small thing I can commit to doing daily that will make everything else I do easier or unnecessary? We are not looking for perfection here. We are looking for consistency with that keystone. If you aim for too much, you'll constantly feel like you're falling short, which is a massive blow to your self-efficacy. But when you consistently hit that one small target, 10 minutes of meditation, writing 3 things you're grateful for, or just drinking a large glass of water, you build an incredible, undeniable sense of self-mastery. Every time you follow through, you send a powerful message to your nervous system. I said I would do this, and I did it. I am the kind of person who keeps their promises to themselves. That sense of mastery, that confidence is what fuels the successful implementation of key point 4. You use the momentum generated by this small, powerful keystone to drive the rest of your transformation. The simple act of mastering one small thing proves to yourself that you are capable of the big thing. You've made the decision, you've locked in the single keystone habit for the next 21 days. Now, you must focus on the mechanics of execution. This is where we move from philosophy to sheer disciplined action. This is key point 4, harnessing momentum and sticking to the streak. The process of forging a new habit over 3 weeks has distinct psychological phases, and understanding these will be your secret weapon against the inevitable dip in motivation. The first 7 days, as we discussed, are the resistance phase. Every molecule in your body and every old pattern in your mind fights you. You're consciously overriding years of conditioning. You have to use the full force of that single decision you made on day 1. You feel the drag, you feel the resistance. But you push through because your only job is to get that first X on the calendar and then the next and the next. This is the stage where you are building the initial kinetic energy. Days 8 through 14, this is the installation phase. You're past the initial painful friction. The habit is now mechanical. It might be boring. You might not feel the huge rush of motivation you felt on day 1. It's like climbing a long, monotonous set of stairs. Your job is just to keep lifting your feet. This stage is less about fighting and more about relentless, quiet routine. Your momentum is building, but it's fragile. Days 15 through 21, the integration phase. This is where your new behavior starts to feel like you. The mental debate shrinks. The need for massive willpower decreases. You are beginning to feel uncomfortable when you don't do the habit. The momentum is no longer something you push. It's something that starts to pull you forward. This is the feeling you are aiming for, and it is the reward for the first 2 weeks of relentless consistency. To maximize this process, you need a visual tool. We're going to borrow a strategy used by some of the most consistent high achievers in the world. The strategy of don't break the chain. Get a simple calendar, hang it somewhere you cannot miss it. Your bathroom mirror, your bedroom wall. And for every single day you execute your keystone habit, you put a big, bold, undeniable X over that day. Your primary focus is not the quality of the action, it is the completeness of the chain. Your job is to make that chain of X grow longer and longer. That visual cue is pure psychological gold. It harnesses a powerful principle called loss aversion. As the chain grows, the mental cost of breaking it becomes higher and higher. You don't want to destroy the beautiful record of your commitment. You don't want to wipe out your progress and start back at day 1. The chain becomes a motivator in and of itself, providing a daily dose of satisfaction that reinforces the behavior. Now let's talk about the universal truth: you will slip up. Life happens, you will get sick, travel, or have a catastrophic day where you miss your habit. The difference between those who transform and those who relapse is how they handle the slip. When you break the chain, you must never, under any circumstances, miss 2 days in a row. Never miss twice. 1 missed day is an accident, it's a setback. It means you pause the chain, but you don't break the entire system. 2 missed days is the beginning of a new pattern, a relapse into your old identity. So if you miss a day, your immediate, non-negotiable decision the moment you wake up the following morning is to execute your keystone habit. You must demonstrate to your subconscious mind that the old pattern of quitting is dead. You are the kind of person who gets back on track immediately. Harnessing momentum is about respecting the streak. It's about recognizing that small daily progress, consistently applied, compounds into massive life-altering results. This is how you transform a single decision into a non-stop 3-week winning streak. We have established the framework. You made the decision, you committed to 21 days, you selected the powerful keystone habit, and you are building an undeniable streak, refusing to break the chain. You are doing the work. You are achieving success on a daily basis. But here is the profound realization that elevates this whole process from a temporary fix to a permanent identity level transformation. The true transformation isn't the habit itself. It's not about the 21 morning workouts or the 21 days without sugar. The true transformation is key point 5, the identity shift, becoming the person. Most people approach change backward. They say, if I run every day, then I will become a runner. That's extrinsic motivation. That means they are waiting for the external evidence, the finished habit, to grant them the internal permission, the new identity. And when they skip a day, the external evidence disappears and they revert to their old identity. See, I'm not really a runner. We are going to flip that script. The most powerful engine for change is not motivation, nor even discipline. It is identity. Your actions, your habits, your entire life is merely a reflection of the person you believe yourself to be. If you believe deep down that you are a procrastinator, you will find a way to procrastinate, even if you intellectually want to be productive. If you believe you are a naturally lazy person, every day will be a battle against that self-image. The 21-day challenge is a powerful tool because it allows you to act your way into a new way of thinking. It allows you to collect 21 consecutive pieces of irrefutable evidence that contradicts your old limiting identity. The shift is subtle, but it is everything. Instead of saying, I have to exercise now, you start thinking, I am a person who exercises daily. Instead of saying, I'm trying to save money, you declare, I am a person who is financially responsible. The minute you claim that new identity, the subsequent actions become easier because they are no longer a struggle against yourself. They are simply the natural expression of who you already are. If you see yourself as a reader, you don't debate whether you should read tonight. You just pick up the book because that is what readers do. It's no longer a burden. It's congruent with your self-image. This is the phase of the transformation where the work moves from conscious effort to subconscious default. By day 15, 18, or 21, the new habit is starting to feel natural. Why? Because you've been acting like the person you want to become for so long that your brain has begun to accept the performance as the reality. Every time you show up and execute your Keystone Habit, you are literally casting a vote for your new identity. Think about it, every small, consistent action is a vote. Waking up at 6 a.m. is a vote for, I am an early riser. Preparing a healthy meal is a vote for, I am a health-conscious person. Finishing a tough task is a vote for, I am a person of execution and discipline. Or your 21-day challenge is about collecting 21 consecutive votes for the new you. You are overloading the system with positive evidence until your old limiting identity is utterly defeated. The old self-image starves from lack of evidence, and the new powerful identity is reinforced every morning and every night. This identity shift is where the true leverage lies, because once you believe you are that person, the habits stop being things you do and start being things you are. You don't have to motivate yourself to be yourself. The habits simply flow from your core sense of self. This is the power of the transformation. You don't just acquire a new habit. You become a new person. You've done it. You've made the decision. You committed to the time. You selected your keystone. You built the chain. And most importantly, you have fundamentally changed who you believe yourself to be. You have collected 21 consecutive votes for the new you. You are no longer someone who wishes to be disciplined. You are disciplined. You are no longer someone who thinks about being healthy. You are healthy. The 21st day is not a finish line, my friends. It is the end of the beginning. It is the moment you graduate from a conscious struggle into the automatic momentum of a life by design. This brings us to key point 6, the principle of compounding growth. We live in a linear world, but we want exponential results. If you go to the gym once, you get a linear result, one workout. If you read one page, you get one page of knowledge. But real wealth, real mastery, and real transformation are not linear, they are exponential. They are driven by the power of power. Then think about money. If you have $1 and I give you 10% interest every day, the first day you gain 10 cents. The next day you gain 11 cents. It's tiny. But over years, that compounding interest grows faster and faster until the principal amount is dwarfed by the growth. That is exactly what your habits do for your life. Your 21-day achievement is your new principle. It's the foundation. By sticking to that single keystone habit, drinking that water, making that one sales call, writing that one page, you didn't just create one small result each day, you created self-trust, you created momentum, you created a new identity. And now those intangible assets begin to compound. What happens on day 22? Your new keystone habit is now running on a powerful subconscious autopilot. It takes almost no conscious willpower to execute. You have freed up the mental bandwidth that was previously wasted on debating whether or not to do the task. That freed up energy, that mental surplus is your profit from the first 21 days. And what do you do with profit? You reinvest it. Your goal now is not to maintain the chain because the new identity will maintain it for you. Your goal is to apply your freed up energy and proven methodology to the next high leverage keystone habit. You don't break the chain of the first habit. You simply decide which second domino you are going to put next to it. Perhaps your first habit was waking up 30 minutes earlier. Now that's your new minimum standard. It's non-negotiable. With that 30 minutes of new time, you now select your second keystone, 10 minutes of deep focused work. You repeat the 21-day principle, apply the don't break the chain strategy, and build your second layer of compounded growth. You see, the person you were 21 days ago would have struggled for 21 days just to finish that first habit. The person you are today can now tackle the second habit with a massive advantage, the undeniable knowledge that you are a person who commits and succeeds. You have proof in your body and your mind, and in that long chain of X's on your calendar. Your new purpose is to become the conscious architect of compounding growth. You are using discipline to build habits, and you are using habits to redefine your identity, and you are using that identity to free up energy for the next massive level of change. Do not stop. Do not regress. The moment you stop growing, you start shrinking. The time for massive action, stacked one keystone habit upon another, is right now. You have the model, you have the momentum, you have the identity.